Hi and welcome to the Math Walkthrough on Cambridge IGCSE 2019 Paper 3 58032. Question 1b. Write down a fraction that is equivalent to 5/9. There are many answers here. One example is 10 over 18. Next, write down the seventh odd positive number. This is 13. Next, write down a decimal number that is larger than 0.0467 but smaller than 0.0468. Again, there are many answers here. 0.04671 is an example. Next, find the value of the stated expression. The required value is 8. Next, find the value of the second expression. The required value is 26,244. Next, find the value of the third expression. Any number to the order of 0 is 1. Question 1d. Find the first even multiple of 7 that is greater than 100. With the first two multiple of 7 above 100 being 105 and 112, the even one is 112. Next, from the list, write down the irrational number. The required answer is the root of 10. Question 2. 80 students each record the name of their mathematics teacher. The number of these students taught by Mr. House and Ms. Patel are shown in the bar chart. How many more students are taught by Ms. Patel than by Mr. House? From the bar chart, this would be the difference between 18 and 14. Question 2b. 15 students are taught by Mr. Smith. Twice as many students are taught by Mrs. Brown than by Mr. Jones. Use this information to complete the bar chart. The blue bars on the chart represent the information that completes the bar chart. Next, write down the mode. The mode will tie to Mrs. Brown as this has the highest frequency. Question 2d. One of these students is chosen at random. Work out the probability that this student is taught by Mr. House. This probability is 14 over 80 and in simplified form 7 over 40. Next, work out the probability that this student is not taught by either Mr. House or Ms. Patel. This probability is 48 over 80 or in simplified form 3 over 5. Next, this information is also to be shown in a pie chart. Work out the sector angle for Ms. Patel. This will be the ratio of 18 out of 80 against the angle of 360 degrees. Question 3. Mr. Lester has a fruit and vegetable shop. George spends $12 on fruit each week. The total amount he spends on food is $75. Work out the percentage of the $75 he spends on fruit. The required percentage comes to 16%. Question 3d. Mr. Lester buys pineapples for $1.50 each. He makes 60% profit when he sells them. Work out the selling price of a pineapple. The required selling price is $2.40. Question 3e. The table shows the number of bananas bought by the last 50 customers. Find the range. The range is the difference between its maximum and minimum, and this comes to 6. Next, work out the median. The median is the average of the 25th and 26th ranked item. This is 4. Next, calculate the mean. The mean is the sum of product for each of the rows on the table, then being divided by 50. This comes to 3.26. Question 4. The scale drawing shows town A, town B, and town C on a map. There is a straight line between town A and town B. The scale of the map is 1 centimeter representing 8 kilometers. Measure the bearing of town A from town B. This measurement is obtained using a protractor. Next, work out the actual distance in kilometers between town A and town B. As this is in digital form, the method to obtain the required answer is to multiply the measurement in centimeters by 8. Next, write the scale of the map in the form of 1 to n. The ratio is 1 to 800,000. Question 4d. A straight road from town C is on a bearing of 246 degrees. It meets the road from town A to town B at point X. On the map, draw the road from town C to point X. Label the position of X. The blue line on the diagram is the illustration for the position of X. 4E. Josie is at point X at 10:50. She arrives at town B 37 minutes later. Work out the time that she arrives at town B. The time is 11:27. Question C2. Sammy leaves town A and travels to town B at a constant speed of 75 kilometers per hour. Work out the time for this journey. The required time is equal to distance being divided by speed. This can be obtained from the answer in 2A being divided by 75. Next, Sammy wants to arrive at town B at the same time as Josie. Work out the time that Sammy must leave town A. In method, the time to leave is subtracting time of journey identified in E2A from 11:27. Question 5. The diagram shows four shapes A, B, C, and D and a point P on a 1 cm square grid. Find the parameter of shape A. This is 16 cm. Next, find the area of shape A. The area is 12 cm squared. Question 5b. Write down the coordinates of point P. From the graph, this is the coordinates 5, 2. Next, find the coordinates of the image of point P when P is reflected in the y-axis. The reflected coordinate is -5, 2. Next, find the coordinates of the image of point P when P is reflected in the line y equals 6. The required coordinates is 5, 10. Next, find the vector that translates point P to the point 49 minus 12. The required vector is 44 and minus 14. Next, describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape B. This is an enlargement at scale factor of half with center at -3, 1. Next, describe fully the single transformation that maps shape C onto shape D. This is a rotation of 180 degrees with its center at 4, 8. Question 6a. The grid shows the first 3 diagrams in a sequence. Each diagram is made using identical small squares. Each square has sides that are 1 unit long. On the grid, draw diagram 4. The drawing in blue represents the required diagram 4. Next, complete the table. The required parameter is 28. Next, find an expression in terms of n for the parameter of diagram n. The required expression is 8n minus 4. Next, for one of the diagrams in the sequence, the parameter is 300 units. Work out its diagram number. The required diagram number is n when 8n minus 4 is equal to 300. This works out to n being 38. Next, diagram 3 is drawn on a piece of card. The side of each small square is 7 cm. The diagram is a net of an open box. Calculate the volume of this box and give the units of your answer. With each square being 7 cm, its base is 7 by 7 cm and its height is 14 cm. This takes the volume to 666 cm cubed. Question 6b. These are the first 4 diagrams in a sequence. Each diagram is made from small equilateral triangles. Write down the number of lines of symmetry of diagram 3. It is 3. Next, complete the table. And the table would fill up as follows. Next, find a formula in terms of n for the total number of small triangles T in diagram n. T equals n squared. Next, the formula for the number of white triangles W in diagram n is as stated. Show that this formula gives the correct number of white triangles when n equals 3. When n is 3, the formula has W being equal to 6 as shown on the table. Next, complete this statement for diagram 15. When n is 15, W can be derived from the formula as 120. G lags W by one sequence. Therefore, its count is equivalent to when W is inserted with the value of n equals 14. This comes to G being 105. With T being n squared, T is 15 squared, which comes to 225. Question 7a. A triangle is isosceles. One of its angles is 96. Find the other two angles. It is not possible for the given angle of 96 degrees to be one of the two identical angles, as it is larger than 90 degrees. With that being said, the other two angles can be calculated as 42 and 42 degrees respectively. Next, find the value of x. With 14x being equal to 360 degrees minus 45 degrees, x is 22.5 degrees. Question 7c. Work out the size of one interior angle of a regular polygon with 20 sides. The interior angle can be obtained by multiplying 180 degrees by 18 and dividing it by 20. Next, the diagram shows a right-angled triangle ABC. Calculate the length of AB. Applying the Pythagoras formula, AB is 7.75 meters. Question 7e. The diagram shows the vertices of a triangle lying on the circumference of a circle with center O. Find the value of B and give a reason for your answer. B is 29 degrees because the remaining corner is a right angle. Question 8a1. Write down the coordinates of the point where the line y equals 6x minus 3 crosses the y-axis. The coordinate is 0 minus 3. Next, write down the equation of the straight line that passes through the origin and is parallel to y equals 6x minus 3. Being parallel, the gradient will be identical. And being a line that cuts the y-axis at the 0 point, it means c equals 0 for the equation. Hence, this line is y equals 6x. Question 8b. On the grid, draw the line through the point minus 3 minus 2 that is perpendicular to the y-axis. Start by plotting the point. Next, draw a line that's perpendicular to y-axis and cutting through this point. Next, on the grid, draw the line y equals minus 2x. This is the red line in the graph. Question 8c. The equations of two straight lines are y equals 3x plus 13 and y equals 7x minus 3. Use algebra to solve these two simultaneous equations to find the coordinates of the point where the lines meet. As usual, we'll label the equations 1 and 2 respectively. By subtracting equation 1 from equation 2, we can then solve for x. By inserting the value of x into equation 1, we can solve for y. The required coordinates is 4, 25. Question 9. Zach goes on holiday. The mass m kilograms of his suitcase is 23.5 kg, correct to the nearest 500 grams. Complete this statement about the value of m. With the statement that the mass is correct to the nearest 500 grams, the required answers would have the range of 500 grams. With midpoint being 23.5, m would reside between 23.25 and 23.75 in this case. Next, the ratio of costs for flights and hotels is 3 to 8. The cost of the flights is $861. Work out the total cost of flights and hotels. The total cost is $3,157. Question 9c. Zach changes $575 into euros. He spends 45% of the euros in France. He changes the euros he does not use into pounds to spend in England. Work out how many pounds he receives. In working through the math, it comes to 242 pounds. And that's it for this walkthrough. Bye for now.